Hi dears! Today in Mars Musings, I want to talk about the next festival that we're going through that's through our calendar, and that is Carnival that's currently happening. Um, it's so funny that I started realizing that we have all these events in our lives, or all these traditions or celebrations that are incarnating certain things in some pillars. And Carnival is generally celebrated, or it was initially kind of started before the Catholic period of Lent, really when we would give up meat, up 40 days up until Easter. And I started thinking about this and realizing the joy of Carnival, the celebration of life, many friends going to Brazil, the really just embracing of this, of the fun side of being another character. My son dressed up as a fireman last week. He really wanted to be a fireman, so we made him a cardboard hat for his school and things. And then I started just realizing how much fun it is also to celebrate these things, to be another character, to embrace the joy in life that comes before, of course, these austerity measures, but then also looking at the austerity that we take. For example, giving up meat for the 40 days has been a big one, but also in other traditions, we have Ramadan where there's fasting. We had a lot of austerities that we did in India before events. Last weekend, the Indian tradition celebrated Navratri, which was the night where the veil between the living and the dead is the thinnest, so between the spiritual world. It's also where you can receive the most messages, so we would stay up in India singing vigils all night to Shiva. And then, of course, it's also the new moon now in this period. So all these different traditions, different cultures, we all celebrate, I would say, fasting or giving up something in different ways. I know the Jewish culture does as well. And so I started reflecting on this and thinking, what austerities do we want to give up on? It's almost like making ourselves stronger. I don't know if you associate with Lent, but maybe in other traditions in different ways. Can we also implement, of course, the joy, but also the strength within ourselves to either embrace a part of ourselves or give up something? So a lot of people I've spoken to recently have stopped alcohol for the month of January, or have stopped it for several months. And how do we embrace the fact that we want to get stronger in our personality and different parts of ourselves? And I think that's been a big measure for myself on the journey, like being able to let go of certain things that were either numbing me or maybe distractions from life, and really seeing how my life would shift. For example, one year I gave up sugar. It was a huge thing for me. I started seeing how sugar impacted my system. The second I started eating it again, I felt the drug it was that was passing through me. I mean, it's very minor, but let's just think about that in a different scale. One year when I was trying to be vegetarian many, many years ago, I gave up meat for Lent. It was a big thing. So I'm just inviting here in the celebration moment of Carnival, in the celebration of life, also to see other ways that we can really strengthen our character, our persistence, ourselves. And this is an inner practice. I'm not saying we have to be hard on ourselves, but other things that we can take out of the way that can allow ourselves to become stronger and to show us the ability that we have to do this. And so I'm inviting, as we're celebrating Carnival, as we're celebrating this moment of the different parts of who we are, embracing both the celebration of Carnival, but also the meaning of the ritual, of this, I would almost say the austerity of what it represents behind it, that has existed for traditions and millennia, and in all different kind of meanings to ourselves, and what we can embody in our reality today. A big question that's come up in the last few months for me has really been that we're living in a world where rituals, cultures, traditions are not lost, but we've put aside a lot of them due to religion, let's say, that's very vertical. We're looking for horizontal things, but how can we implement other practices in our lives that are still embodying these, but in a healthy way that feel aligned with ourselves? So I'm inviting, of course, celebrate Carnival. I'm wishing you a beautiful holiday for Carnival today, in whatever way you're celebrating, how you're embracing that part, and then also seeing if for Ash Wednesday or for this next 40 days it resonates with you. Maybe to embrace something, or to also reflect on your tradition, your culture of when an austerity was practiced and what that really meant, for us to go a little bit deeper into our own inner grounding and our inner strength of building that presence, that clarity, and that, I would almost say, commitment to ourselves from within. Because at the end of the day, if we fail in it or not, that's just a moment with us, with ourselves, to strengthen that. So thank you so much. Let me know how it goes on this. Thank you so much for your support and being here, part of Mars Musings. I've had so many beautiful feedbacks on this, and I would love to know how this resonates, how Carnival is for you, if you're celebrating in Brazil and Portugal, all around the world, and I know so many countries and traditions are celebrating this, and also what it means to you to have an austerity, and if it feels like something you would like to embrace, how you would embrace that in your life right now.